My car almost got repoed like 4 times. I mean, my mom bailed me out, my dad bailed me out.
My father died when I was 1, and so I didn't have a whole lot of fatherly figure growing up.
A situation between a husband and wife had become violent within their apartment, and to the point where neighbors and the landlord had to step in. And they had gone into the residence, they pulled him off of her, and they got her and their 2 little children out.
I need to lead by example, and I need to teach my children that they need to get involved. And you know, one of the things that I want them to learn is that there is so much more out there than what's just in their world.
I talked to one of my sorority sisters, you know, she realized I needed help, and she talked to me and she said, I've been there. I had about 5 or 6 credit cards that were way higher than you would ever imagine, and I knew I had no way to pay them. She's like, I found out about the Village, I went there, and she's like, if you want to go there, she's like, they have a credit counseling program, it's totally free, you know, to start up.
For us, it was really important that we didn't just leave our child with a babysitter. We wanted a quality center with qualified professionals, and that takes money.
I wasn't ready for this. I walked in, and you could see clumps of her hair all over the kitchen area where he had yanked the hair out of her head. And then you looked and there was something kind of sprinkled across the floor, and as I looked closer I realized it was her teeth.
So my mom kind of wanted me to get that male bonding aspect in life.
My son this past year, he was 5, and I felt that he was at the right age to start learning about different things. I'm very involved in the community, and I want him to get involved in the community.
And just imagine what she had gone through in front of her children at that time was something that I will never ever forget. To see that scene, to see that kind of violence, and to think another person did this to someone he's married to, someone that he's supposed to love, the mother of his children.
I knew that there was a way out, and I knew that the Village was going to help me get out of debt.
I grew so much as a boy and into a man, knowing that the Scouts were there for me. It allows for those boys to gain life experience, to build the correct ethics, to build a better world for tomorrow.
One of the things that I let him know is that not every child gets a holiday like he does. They don't wake up to presents like he does, or, you know, they don't have their family around like he does. So I was explaining that to him, and that's why he was out ringing the bell, and that we were raising money so that they could have a Christmas just like him.
It was difficult for us to think about maintaining our own careers and then having our children be somewhere else. But I think that process became, or that decision became easier for us when we saw what could really happen in a quality daycare.
Every month I got my statement, it was going down significantly.
It got me that male bonding, it got me the positive role models that you miss out without having a father.
To know that United Way is there helping out some of these really great centers that don't want to charge parents an arm and a leg because we can't afford it. To know that United Way is there kind of helping out, so keeps it affordable for parents, but yet we've got these top quality centers, and there's absolutely no way it would happen without the United Way. I'm thoroughly convinced of that.
Living united to me really means coming together, and our region sets the example for the whole nation when we define what coming together means. We've seen so many examples the past few months and this spring with our communities coming together to help our neighbors that needed us.
By giving to the United Way, it sets a great example for our children, and when they grow up, how they could be custodians of the money that is donated to our community through the United Way.
It's been inspiring to meet some of our donors that might not seem like large donors to the United Way, but when you take a deeper look, they really are huge and have a big impact on the lives of so many people. A $5 or a $10 per paycheck gift might not seem like a large gift in absolute dollars, but that's a huge gift as a percentage of income from some of these donors, and it's a huge gift to the little girl that wouldn't have a backpack or school supplies if it wasn't for that gift.
Yeah, as principal of Ben Franklin Middle School, it always brings me great enjoyment to see these kids show up on the first day with that smile on their face, and they got their backpack from United Way with all the supplies. It's just that special feeling that I can remember as a kid, and now I get to see it in these hundreds of kids that show up on that first day of school. What
United Way does for children, they just give them that hope, that light that they need. When you think about the backpacks, you know, over 3,700 backpacks were given out last year. Think about that. That's 3,700 children that went to school and weren't ashamed. It's just awesome when you think about that. Children are, of course, gonna pull at my heartstrings. It's just amazing to know that these children get to go to school and they're not gonna be judged. They're gonna be just like everybody else walking through that first day, and they get that experience.
I don't know that everyone realizes, but 125,000 people last year had their lives changed in a positive way because of the gifts of our donors. And these are your friends, these are your coworkers, these are your neighbors, these are real people that you're helping.
For any man to do that in front of his own children, you know, for children to have to see that kind of violence from their parents. And this little child, just with the most innocent voice, says, "Daddy hit mommy." And no child that age, I don't care any age, should ever have to have those words come out of their mouth. But these two little children had seen the whole thing happen, had seen their mother beaten severely. And that one will stick with me forever. That was probably 11 and 12 years ago already, and I still remember it like it was yesterday.
The impact that we can have together is huge, and the impact and the change really becomes real when you hear the 911 calls from the families of the people that we are helping, or when you talk to the social workers that are changing lives of people every day because of the funding they receive from the United Way.
Most people that come into credit card counseling, like in my scenario, did not have the $25 they want for your first session. And the United Way, one of the big things they do is they provide that extra money to the village to give to people when they come in looking for help. So they basically is waiving that first time fee.
Without the funding from United Way, those in Boy Scouts would not have the same experience.
As an educator myself, I'm so tuned into the importance of education from an early age. And the fact that United Way realizes this importance and emphasizes this importance, not only through what it does for the child care facilities, but just through the whole Success by 6 initiative, shows that this is something which is very important to this community. It's very important to United Way.
In law enforcement, we always have to be very careful not to be selective. We can't just select one area where we give special attention. We have to be broad, and we have to be involved across the board many different ways and actively engaged in many different ways. And that's the beautiful thing about the United Way. They're involved in everything. And they support the agencies that support us in times of crisis. There's not an agency out there that we're involved with that they're not involved with. And that's what's the beautiful thing about a partnership. The United Way supports the community, and we as law enforcement are the community.
How do you not get passionate about United Way? It's just, you look at everything, and I just have so much passion for it.
I'm a volunteer, and I live United.
I'm a father, and I live United.
We're working parents, and we live United.
I'm an educator, and I live United.
I'm an Eagle Scout, and I live United.
I'm a success story and I live United.
I'm a mom and I live United.
I'm a servant leader and I live United.
When we volunteer, advocate, and give of our financial resources, we can change lives. And now more than ever, our neighbors need us. When we come together, we can have even a greater impact. Thank you for living United.